welcome to my class. My name is Nicole Phillip, and I'm a student at Broward College. We're going to start off today's session by talking about our classroom rules and procedures. In this class, we're going to use our looking eyes, our listening ears, a quiet mouth, helping hands, and walking feet. And of course, if we do use our virtual platform, I want your mics to be muted, be on time, turn on your video camera so the same way you can see me, I can see you. Come prepared, raise your hand, and be respectful. The population of this classroom is made up of 6 students. Demographically, we have 3 boys and 3 girls, 1 Hispanic student, 1 Caucasian student, and 4 African American students. There are 3 8th graders, 2 9th graders, and 1 10th grader. The students are biologically between the ages of 13 and 15 years old. The students in this class are nonverbal, non-ambulatory, meaning wheelchair-bound, and medically fragile. This is an I&D class. All the students in this class are profoundly intellectually disabled. So, next we're going to talk about our eligibility levels. My students all receive physical therapy and occupational therapy. 5 students of the 6 receive language therapy. The learning profiles of the students include cognitively, the students perform to the intellectual equivalent of 3-month-olds to 11-month-olds. So 3 of the students need support to complete work. Adapted students can complete adapted work tasks with moderate physical prompts. And the other 3 students are engaged on a participatory level in adaptive work tasks with maximum physical prompts. Let's get started. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to class. I'm so excited to see you here today. Before we get started, I want to know how everyone's feeling. It's always good to know how you feel, so that way you can apply yourself the best you can. So let's talk about what zone we're in today. Now, remember everyone, you are essential, and we have 4 zones. You could either be in the red zone, the yellow zone, the green zone, or the blue zone. Now, as we know, the red zone means you might be angry, you might be yelling or hitting, and we don't do that, or out of control, or you might need some time and space. If you're in the yellow zone, that means you're worried, you're anxious, maybe even excited or wiggly today. And then we have our green zone. You're coming in today happy, calm, ready to learn, focused, good to go. And last but not least, the blue zone. If you're in the blue zone, that means that you might be sick, sad, tired. If you get bored, make sure you tell me. Or moving slow. Either way, you are allowed to feel the way you feel. I just want to take a little inventory just to know. So before we move on, would anybody like to tell me how they're feeling today? Yes, Jenny. You're in the green zone. You're happy. I'm glad you're happy. I'm happy. And today we're going to have an awesome time. Let's go.
F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for anywhere and anytime at all.
Down here in the deep blue sea. F is for fire.
Plankton. Those things aren't what fun is all about. Now, do it like this. F is for friends who do stuff.
Never. That's completely idiotic.
Here, let me help you. F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. Try it.
N is for anywhere at any time at all.
Down here in the deep blue sea.
Wait, I don't understand this. I feel all tingly inside. Should we stop?
No, that's how you're supposed to feel.
Well, I like it. Let's do it again.
Okay.
F is for frolic through all the flowers. U is for ukulele. N is for nose picking, sharing, gum and sun licking here with my best buddy.
What a fun song about friendship. So as you can see, Plankton started in the red zone. And SpongeBob was in a great mood and he was obviously in the green zone. Plankton came around. So today we're going to focus on what it is to be a good friend and a very specific quality of being a great friend. So as we say here, sharing is caring. Some qualities of a good friend would include listening to each other. Good friends definitely don't put each other down or hurt each other's feelings. Good friends usually try to understand each other's feelings and moods, and good friends help each other solve problems. Sometimes a great friend will compliment you, and even though friends can disagree, you can disagree without hurting each other. And another great quality about being a good friend is being dependable. But today we're going to really zero in on sharing. Now that we've learned about some qualities that a friend should possess or would possess, we're going to read a story about a fish that had something the other fish wanted. Now let's see what Rainbow Fish will do in his predicament. Think about what you would do if you were in Rainbow Fish's place. Now, this is a children's literature book. That's the genre. It's fiction. Did you ever have something that somebody else wanted? Maybe on Christmas you got a new toy and your little brother or sister wanted to play with that toy. Did you share with that person that wanted what you had? These are all things to think about as we read this story. The story is called The Rainbow Fish, and it's written and illustrated by Marcus Fisher. Let's get started. The Rainbow Fish. A long way out in the deep blue sea, there lived a fish. Not just any ordinary fish, but the most beautiful fish in the entire ocean. His scales were every shade of blue and green and purple with sparkling silver scales among them. Wow, look at those sparkles. The other fish were amazed at his beauty. They called him Rainbow Fish. Come on, Rainbow Fish, they would call. Come and play with us. But the Rainbow Fish would just glide past, proud and silent, letting his scales shimmer. One day, a little blue fish followed after him. Rainbow Fish, he called, wait for me! Please give me one of your shiny scales. They are so wonderful and you have so many. You want me to give you one of my special scales? Who do you think you are? Cried Rainbow Fish. Get away from me! Shocked, the little blue fish swam away. He was so upset, he told all his friends what had happened. From then, no one would ever have anything to do with Rainbow Fish. They turned away when he swam by. Wow. What good were dazzling, shimmering scales with no one to admire them? Now he was the loneliest fish in the entire ocean. One day he poured out his troubles to the starfish. I really am beautiful. Why doesn't anybody like me? I can't answer that for you, said the starfish, but if you go beyond the coral reef to a deep cave, you will find the wise octopus. Maybe she can help you. The Rainbow Fish found the cave. It was very dark inside and he couldn't see anything. Then suddenly 2 eyes caught him in their glare and the octopus emerged from the dark. I have been waiting for you, said the octopus with a deep voice. The waves have told me your story. This is my advice. Give a glittering scale to each of the other fish. You will no longer be the most beautiful fish in the sea, but you will discover how to be happy. I can't, the Rainbow Fish started to say, but the octopus had already disappeared into the dark cloud of ink. Give away my scales? My beautiful shining scales? Never! How could I ever be happy without them? Suddenly, he felt the light touch of a fin. The little blue fish was back. Rainbow fish, please don't be angry. I just want one scale. The rainbow fish wavered. Only one very, very small shimmery scale, he thought. Well, maybe I wouldn't miss just one. Carefully, the rainbow fish pulled out the smallest scale and gave it to the little fish. Thank you very much, the little blue fish bubbled playfully as he tucked the shiny scale in among his blue ones. A rather peculiar feeling came over the rainbow fish, and for a long time he watched the little blue fish swim back and forth with his new scale glittering in the water. See, he's giving the blue fish a scale. Wow. The little blue fish whizzed through the ocean with his scale flashing, so it didn't take long before the rainbow fish were surrounded by the other fish. Everyone wanted a glittering scale. The rainbow fish shared his scales left and right, and the more he gave away, the more delighted he became. When the water around him filled with glimmering scales, he at last felt at home among the other fish. Finally, the rainbow fish had only one shining scale left. His most prized possession had been given away, yet he was very happy. Come on, rainbow fish, they called. Come and play with us. Here I come, said the rainbow fish, and as happy as a splash, he swam off to join his friends. Wow, do you see everybody with their shiny scales? And now we see a happy rainbow fish. What a fantastic story about the rainbow fish. There were so many interesting parts about that story, but I loved the wise octopus. What about you guys? Do you think that rainbow fish did the right thing? If you agree, use your eye gaze to look to the yes, and that's the yellow smiley face. And if you don't agree, you think he did the wrong thing, use your eye gaze and look to the blue sad face. No. Last week we learned all about context clues, and this week we're going to take that and learn all about character traits. After reading The Rainbow Fish, we learned about a new character. A character is a person or an animal in a story. Now, Rainbow Fish exuded specific character traits that we also would like to see in some of our friends. There are two types of traits. Traits are adjectives that describe a character. In Rainbow Fish's case, he had different traits at the beginning of the story towards the end of the story. There are external traits and internal traits, and he exhibited a change in both external and internal. An external trait is going to be something that you can see on the exterior, where internal are personality traits that you can't see. Readers really need to look inside and analyze their characters' thoughts, dialogues and conversations, their feelings, and their actions. And that's very important. We need to remember what Rainbow Fish did at the end of the story. Traits. Some internal character traits are what the character does. Let's look for verbs. An example would be, Amanda snatched a doll out of Molly's hand and threw it on the ground. So what did she do? She snatched the doll out of Molly's hand and threw it on the ground. An action that we can say that Rainbow Fish did is he took off his scales and shared it with the other fish. And I think that's a wonderful example. Another internal trait would be looking at the character's feelings. Rainbow Fish started off the story feeling super proud. He was so proud of his scales. But then he was sad when nobody wanted to play with him, which then led him to do something about being sad. Some examples of a character trait would be someone being nice, mean, happy, sad, smart, brave, funny, or scared. And you don't necessarily have to use those exact words. You can use different synonyms and adjectives to describe those feelings. Like instead of saying nice, you could say that Rainbow Fish was being friendly and kind. If you think that Rainbow Fish was mean at the beginning, you could say that Rainbow Fish was rude or impolite. If you think that Rainbow Fish was happy, you could say that he was cheerful, excited, or even delighted. And there are many ways to explain and describe internal character traits. Now that we've learned all about character traits and internal character traits and the adjectives and verbs that go around describing someone's character, let's look at some character traits that Rainbow Fish exhibited in the story, The Rainbow Fish. As we know, in the beginning of the story, Rainbow Fish was not very nice. He did not want to share his skills, and because he didn't want to share his skills, he ended up being left out. What character traits internally would you say that Rainbow Fish portrayed? Now we have a cute little word box that gives us some great options. And let's remember at the beginning, say that Rainbow Fish was generous? Would you say that he was bossy? Would you say that Rainbow Fish was kind or caring? Or would you say that he was selfish and evil and nasty and not very thoughtful? Since we have so many options, let's just look at the beginning of the story. What adjective in this box would you use to describe Rainbow Fish's character traits at the beginning of the story? Personally, I think that Rainbow Fish was kind of selfish. Yeah. I also think at the beginning of the story, Rainbow Fish was kind of nasty. And I'll say that because at the beginning, the little blue fish came up to him very nicely and said, "Can I have one of your scales?" And he said no. He didn't even think about it. He didn't even want to share. But towards the end of the story, Rainbow Fish's character traits did change. He saw the wise octopus, and after seeing the wise octopus, he realized it was nice to be kind and that he should be generous and maybe share. And for that, I will say that Rainbow Fish was generous towards the end of the story. And towards the end of the story, he was thoughtful after he spoke to the wise octopus. And these are character traits that we need to remember, especially when we're making friends. When you're making friends with someone, you definitely do not want to be selfish and nasty, or you might end up alone like Rainbow Fish and sad. But great characteristics of a friend and great character traits that you could exude as a friend are to show that you are being thoughtful and maybe even caring. But most of all, let's look at generous. Rainbow Fish's generosity and sharing with the other fish is kind of what was the turnaround in the story. And in the end, he was very wow, what an epic learning journey we've been on today. Now we're going to talk about some character traits that a friend would possess. Like we saw in Rainbow Fish, in the end, his generosity and sharing nature made people want to be his friend. And in the end, he was very happy. So let's listen to the Friend song to hear about some good qualities that you might want to have as a friend.
Your friend, you're my friend. We'll stick together until the end. We're caring, we're sharing, respecting, connecting. I believe in you, you believe in me. Showing loyalty and honesty. We share our history, nothing's a mystery. We both have the key to reach our dreams. I'm your friend, you're my friend. This friendship lasts forever. I'm your friend, you're my friend. This friendship lasts forever. There's so much more to me than how I look, you see. Get to know me, look in my heart and see. And when you see me, for the real me, I know that we could be friends forever. And I know, yes I know, last forever. I'm your friend, you're my friend. This friendship lasts forever. I'm your friend, you're my friend. This friendship lasts forever. I'm your friend, you're my friend. This friendship.
After everything we learned today, think about what qualities do you look for in a friend? And what qualities do you want in a friend? Do you want a friend that's selfish and nasty? No. Or do you want a friend that's kind and caring and generous? Think about this.